Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of BIM Pure Live. I am your host, Nicolas Catelier. I am an architect, a BIM specialist, and the founder of BIM Pure. We've got a great show for you today. We'll soon introduce a guest. Before that, quick glance at the chat. We have Josh from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Rena from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Eric from the Netherlands. We've got Habimenu from India, John from the Quad Cities, Debbie from Maine, Bird from Huntington Beach, California, Eduardo from Mexico City, Isham from Kamloops. If you're watching live today, what date are we? On March 19, 2025, you can type in the live chat where you are watching the show from. A couple of things to announce before we move on to the guest. This is the Dynamo Space Camp, a series of 3 live events on BIM Pure to help you learn Dynamo and start automating tedious Revit tasks. I am hosting these sessions. The first one is this Monday. What date is that? On March 24th. So these are all at 10 a.m. Eastern time. They last for 90 minutes. The first one is to get you started with Dynamo, understand how it works. You don't need any experience. The second one is called Automation Supernova. It's to help you automate lots of tasks, interact with Excel, generate a list of work sets based on an Excel spreadsheet, working with groups, working with door numbers, replacing the parameters of any elements. And the final one would be about parametric design using Dynamo, using real case studies of building that cut actually built, where I've used Dynamo to do parametric design, especially for facades and generating 3D bricks. So this is the Dynamo Space Camp. It is a part of the BIM Pure membership. So you can go to bimpure.com/dynamo-spacecamp or check the link in the video description, subscribe. And we currently have a spring sale. And if you cannot make it live, you can watch the replays of not only this session, but all the past. We've got about 15, 18 live session replays they can watch of previous events. And final thing that I want to mention as well, Revit 2026 is going to be released quite soon, right? We're getting to early April. So on April 2nd, that's in 2 weeks from now, I will be hosting a live session about all the best new features. So that's April 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern time about all the best new features in Revit 2026. So that is for members only. You need to subscribe to BIM Pure to get access to the links. And for the next BIM Pure Live episode, it's going to be roughly 1 month from now on YouTube. So I'm going to announce when we get closer to the date. And yeah, that's it. No other sponsor this week. Today's guest is Rolly Stevens. Rolly is based in Minneapolis in Minnesota. And he is the director of design technology at Ryan Companies in the US and has been working there for 12 years. So welcome, Rolly. How are you?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yes.
They tell me it's going to be springtime tomorrow.
Really? Spring?
I don't quite. Right. The spring equinox is, I think, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
That's right.
I'm not quite sure I'm buying it yet. I'm not quite there yet.
It's a bit hard to believe. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes day by day.
All right. So can you tell me what is your experience with UNIFI and Content Catalog? And maybe you should explain, I guess, maybe there are some people who don't know the difference. What is UNIFI? What's Content Catalog? I'm guessing most of the people have an idea by now, but if you could give us an overview.
Well, maybe not, because it's a little murky. First came UNIFI. I joined the UNIFI party probably about 4 years ago. Previous to that, I had used CTC's Hive. And so went through features and what my users are going to use and cost and everything else. landed on UNIFI. Um, then I went through UNIFI, started beta testing UNIFI 4.0, which we'll get a little snippet of that a little bit later. But started beta testing that, gosh, like 2 years ago. Then Autodesk comes in, acquires UNIFI, um, which Autodesk has never done before with any other software company. So it's just out of the blue, never seen it before. But as Autodesk does, they come in and they buy another company, pull it in, and now it's Content Catalog. Um, the cool thing is now it's included with your
Yeah.
Autodesk Docs subscription. So my technology budget is happy. Um, but yeah, away we go. It's it's some really cool things that Autodesk brought to the table. Some things we had to hit pause on and redevelop and retest, and it was a long haul to finally get Content Catalog out there. Oh gosh, you probably know better than I. It probably hit September-ish,
It was
I think.
August, I think. I remember
August?
because I did write an article
Yeah,
when it
I
was
figured
released.
so.
I kind
Yeah.
of did the first 101 guide for people to get started.
Oh, of course
Um,
you did.
yeah, yeah. Although I've never
Of course you did.
been
Yeah.
a power user, so I didn't. I knew how to do the basic setup, but I didn't know the best practices to organize the content. So that's why I've brought you in for this.
Okay. Gotcha. Hmm.
Um, Yeah, so I think Autodesk announced the acquisition in like early 2022,
I think it
2023.
was
So
like
it took
June
them
of
1 year and a half.
23. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think we were on 4.0 point, I don't know, 20 or 30-ish. We're on
Yeah.
79 now.
And what did you like about Unify, the predecessor of Content Catalog, and why did you choose the solution over others? Like you mentioned CTC Hive before, there's
Mhm.
Veil, there's Kinship. So what did you like specifically about Unify?
Um, the the interface is lovely. Beyond what we see here, you'll see that the interface is quite lovely. It works with all sorts of content, filled region, fill patterns, model groups, detail groups, families, of course, Revit templates, Revit files. Little interesting little thing there we'll get into. Um, and it's cloud hosted. You don't have to host it on your server. So my whole angle on all of this was we were going to be a 360 at that time, 8 years ago. And so all of our models are going up into the cloud. And um, so my users were working on models up in the cloud, but still trying to get families through a VPN. And I just was not working well. I needed to
Hmm.
get my content up in the cloud. Everything, well, not one place, but yeah, um, everything up there. So that sent me towards Unify. Um, gosh, I mean that's the official reason. Selfish reasons is it has a whole lot to offer us managers.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I don't have to maintain multiple libraries because we have to support multiple versions of Revit. Um, so before I had 4 or 5 content libraries that I had to update and manage, back and forth, um, and try to keep track of, well, okay, what was edited, what changed with that, and version editing. Um, Trying to figure out a detail library, what the heck to do for that. Do you do a holding file and how do people find it? So that is here. That was a big part of it. So yeah, there's kind of a win-win. I mean, there's a whole lot in it for us managers as well.
Yeah, I think all BIM managers went through a phase where we're like, how do we organize families? How do we organize details? Do we have a content file? Do we use one of these platforms? If so,
Yeah.
which one? That's a pretty common dilemma, I think. And you know, I've spoke to many firms. I've recommended multiple solutions, including Unify back in the days. Most of them was like were saying, you know, Autodesk and Revit, it's pretty expensive already. I don't think we're gonna spend more money for that. That's an answer I got very often. So when I saw the
Oh
acquisition,
yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know if it's the best product, but now I don't have to convince people to spend more money to get it. It's included, and I think it's pretty good as you were mentioning you were using it before.
It's
So to be
yeah.
clear, content catalog, if you have Autodesk docs, it's included, so you can get started right away.
Yeah, I mean, there's still people that say, well, a good naming convention and a folder structure is just fine. It's like,
Yeah,
well, yeah, but there's so many different kinds of content. I mean, it's not
yeah,
just RFAs anymore. We have to manage all of it, and this does that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you wanna move on to the screen and you can give us a
hmm
glimpse of the interface? Then I'm having a look at what I wrote in the description, so we don't.
The interface will, yeah, hopefully, I mean, not share all of our inner workings, but everything we have here going on at Ryan.
Okay, these are
Um,
collections. Can you explain how to use collections? I
yes.
was with a client recently. We're like, what do we do with collections? Do we separate by details, loadable families? We weren't sure how to use them.
Um, the cool thing, a couple of cool things with collections, right? Is that uh, collection is basically a library. If you're coming from another program or God, I can't even remember, UNIFI, were they libraries? I think so. Even in the UNIFI world, there were libraries. Now they're collections. So yeah, leave it to Autodesk to tell us, no, they're not libraries, they're collections. So we've been corrected. Collections are you can put any combination of content in a collection. It doesn't have to be. It's independent of file type, of category. Um, you can put anything in there. Now, the special thing with collections that you can't do anywhere else. Now we have to change gears a little bit here. Um, so on the admin side, sorry, we're just gonna like just jump right over to the admin side.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Little tangent. Um, Now, because of Autodesk, we are now tied to ACC and account admins out there. Down here, from account admin, you go down to library and you will see content catalog. And here you control collections and user groups. That's it. And no, you can't control them from content catalog. This is the one place. And let's see, let's go to like my detail items
So for
collection
collections and
here.
user groups, you have to go to ACC. For the
hmm
rest, you stay on the content catalog app.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Yep. And so if we do detail items and go to edit, you will see down here user groups. So the unique thing with a collection is you can assign permissions. Is the really big thing. Um, you can say who has access to it, who can edit it, who can just read and insert, all of that. Um, you can't do that at any other level. Okay. And so, like my A&E folks, they have access to all of our detail items. My BDC, my virtual design coordinators up in construction, they wanted to have our fun detail components as well. So I had to add them. Say, oh, okay, fine, you can now read, download, and insert from there. Um, on the flip side, if I go down here to one of the VDC libraries for my construction folks, and I go to edit, um, only they can see it. I don't need my A&E folks seeing that stuff. So you can Start filtering by groups, by departments like this. You could do that by even clients or projects. If you're working on a project with a real high level secretive client, you can portion that off and have a separate library just for that client, and nobody else can get to it. So some cool things with collections. Now, here we see just group names. We don't see usernames, right? You cannot do permissions by users.
Yeah,
They
like you
have,
could for folders permission docs, for example.
like the rest of the frickin' world.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't do that here. So we have to come back out here um, to our base here, and we go to user groups. And here you create your users or your groups. Now, remember we're in ACC. So when I come in, when I come here and go edit, um, I see all my users in A&E, 91 of them. When I go to add users, this is pulling from the main library of members from your ACC hub. Okay. Most of the users out there, it's going to be about the same. Here at Ryan, being Design Build, we host everybody's models on our projects. We get all of our consultant files and everything. So I have over 4,000 users and 740 some companies in this members group. So there's that. Slight bummer, but it's very easy. You start searching, it pulls it up, and away we go. Let's see. Is it gonna find me? Oh, somebody else, somewhere else, but yeah. Anyway, so we have to create our user groups. Then from user groups, we assign permissions.
So the user groups should be based on the type of content they should see and be able to download and access, right?
Exactly.
So for
Yep.
example, let's say you have a landscape department, you don't necessarily want them to have access to all the other content, not to confuse them. You would create a landscape user group and
Sure.
so on, right? And is that
Yeah.
the main way to use collections? It's to link it to different user groups, or not necessarily?
That is one. That is one big one. When you're getting into the rule sets, that's the compelling rule set, is that only user groups you can actually filter who sees what, who has access to what. You also do admins or library admins if you have a group of power users that you want to maintain a particular library. You can parcel that off and manage access to that. I've kind of parsed this out more. I mean, a lot of this kind of content types. So all my 2D detail items we have there, all my project templates. I have 10 of them. That's a whole other story. But all my project templates live in there. Landscape is still coming to the party. We have to get them going. Ryan Library is my big bucket. That's where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I split out the detail library. So that's just sheets and drafting views.
And the system families. So you have
System
like
families.
loadable families, details, and system families. Is there any reasons that you decided to split it this way?
No,
Yeah, okay.
no reason. It's just, yeah, it just made sense to me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. In my advanced age, I can't remember if that's the way it was kind of in Hive, that I just kind of carried it over, or I honestly can't remember. But it wouldn't have to be. Certainly, you could have all of that thrown into one bucket. Absolutely. Mhm. Um, and so the collections for the users, you see by default, I'm looking at 11 of them. Um, you can search by default. If I click on that, I can search all of them, or I can narrow down and say, hey, I just want to search my detail items. And instead of 6,000 items, now I'm looking at 469.
Yeah, okay. So it makes
And you
sense to
start.
kind of divide it into a few buckets, not too many, but like system families,
Mhm.
details, loadable families. It seems
Yeah.
to make sense if you want to reduce the number of things you're searching inside.
Mhm. It works. I mean, you could do the same thing with a filter
Yeah, yeah.
or save searches, which we'll see in a minute. But yeah, so it's a little bit of okay, how do we set things up? How do we organize things? Um, Probably the place to start is how your users are accustomed to seeing it now.
Yeah.
If they go to a folder called detail items, that's going to ring to them and say, hey, oh yeah, that's where I find all my detail components. Um, so if you're looking for a transition, take that into consideration of how your users are going to use this and get to their stuff.
Okay, so later on we're gonna explore how you can the best ways to add content over
Sure.
there.
Mhm.
But for now, I'm curious. Let's say that you are users. I guess for most users, they won't add the actual content. They'll just search through it, right? The end
Mhm.
user, at least. So
Yes.
what's the best practice for them? Do they there's a save search feature? I guess you mentioned, or they just is the search feature just the way to go, or is it through
You're
tags?
yeah, all of it.
All of it. Yeah.
There you go, all of it. So myself, yeah, you can, and it even remembers the last searches I've done. So I'm looking for a ship's ladder, search for that. Fabulous. What happened? Okay, I forgot I had looked just in detail items. There are no ship's ladders in detail items. I forgot to come over here and hit reset. This little back in time symbol. Reset. Now I'm looking at all 11 collections. I can try that again. And there's all my ship's ladders. Okay. And it's going through let's these little, I know back in my day it was an equalizer for a stereo. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Um, so click on that. This is what it's searching. Okay. Um, it's searching the file name, of course. It could be a type name inside that family. The category, class, tags. You can assign any tag to any piece of content, any number of tags, whatever makes sense for you. Unfortunately, these are defaulted off, but you can even dive into the parameters. So if you have, I think, manufacturer, um, model, type, any other parameters, like I added a custom parameter for all my details, so I can have a unique identifier for all my details. Um, you can check those, hit apply, and now dig even into those. Um, the new interface, it highlights what it's picking up here. If you're curious, it has a score that you can include of how certain it is
So
that
the
it's
like,
finding.
yeah, the likelihood that it's the right type of content.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, so we get the columns. We can play with those, check those on and off. You can move them around if I want to move that up there. What Revit years if you're searching for that. Um, Anything, and this is just for each individual user. It doesn't affect anyone else. And so once I have my column set, I have to click over here to collapse that back. And there you are. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here as well. Right now we're searching by name. So ascending, descending, or not at all. Um, so I can search by that. I could search, logically, if I was going to have a score, I would search, why is that like that? There we go. Um, I would search by the score and get the most likely hits up front. Um, So you can sort by any of these. You can also uh, drag and drop these up into this area up here, and you can group things. So by collection, I have two details and eight loadable families.
Okay, so now it's easier to distinguish between
Yeah,
elements from different collections, the
okay.
other
hmm
details are loadable. Yeah, I see.
And you can do multiple, so you can break it down even more. So okay, by category. It's not going to be very splashy because all of them are specialty equipment, but um, and you can just keep going down. You can break those out and organize it that way. And you can see how it's broken down here. You can reverse this. Oops, I did this morning. There we go. Nope, by category first. There we go. So now it's by category first, and then you have to drill down to see the collection. So it's left to right, how it's breaking it down in the tree there. Or you can just wipe those out and it goes back to everything. So it's super flexible on how you find your stuff, how you view your stuff, organize it. Um, so yeah, it's kind of hard to teach sometimes. Say, hey, there's no whichever way works for you, however you find your stuff. And that was the bottom line of UNIFI the day. Is like, hey, I'm paying lots of money for this, but my users can find their stuff, and that's all it is at the end of the day. Um, yeah,
Yeah, can you talk to me about tags? You can
tags.
search by the tags as well.
Yeah. So I have a whole little special thing out here. Let's reset this. Okay. Um, I have a tag called tags. How about that? Um, so I think that was like roof details. So it will pick that up, at least roof. Okay. A better way, and Karen from Autodesk is probably yelling at me right now for not doing this, is the filters button here. So the search will kind of do its best to find your stuff. You can kind of hard set filters, say, hey, I want included tags. And the cool thing with this over the old UNIFI is that the old UNIFI would list every possible tag that you had. And whether you had a piece of content with it or not. This is selective. It only, you know, wherever you are with the filter, it will only show the possibilities at that level. So if I go for bollards, see my tags bollards over here, click off of that, we have all those. Within that, oh, wonder what I do for, okay, so for multiples of that, or if I go in the category, they're all generic models. So it's already been, that list of categories has already been filtered out by the included tags. So you can very naturally and instinctively kind of narrow that down to just what you want. Or a Revit year. It's like, hey, I only want the 2022. Okay, there's everything that's available in 2022.
Um, so
Mhm.
do you use tags a lot? Is it your preferred way of organizing content, or there's also the save search feature?
I typically use tags in conjunction with save searches.
So it's a mix of
Um,
both.
yeah, and now, I mean, it's probably less prevalent now with the new search engine. It's pretty darn good at finding stuff. The old UNIFI, we kind of leaned on tags a little bit more, I think. Um, Now tags are more geared, or at least the way I use them is more geared towards the save searches. So when I get the perfect search, get exactly what I'm looking for at any time, I can come up here and say save as, and you can restrict that by permissions, right? Admins only can create save searches, or I I think regular users can if you allow them. But you can save that search and call it, I already did a test, test two, or no, test bollards. Okay. And a group. So all the groups that I have already, okay, that's going to be industrial, my industrial peeps. An icon. We used to have really cool icons in here back in the days of UNIFI. There are some actually useful ones. I don't know if you can see if anyone from Autodesk is listening right now.
So now we have the boring Autodesk icons, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Damn it, bring back our icons. Yeah, they're all. Ooh, actually, they did add that one back in, AC unit. That was kind of fun, the snowflake. But they're all these weird computer programming stuff, has absolutely nothing to do with content. Oh, hey, my battery's full. Okay, yeah, not useful at all. So that gets saved to this 3.5-inch floppy, which usually spins off a whole history lesson for my users when I ever mention that. And if I go down to industrial, oh, I didn't save that one when I was playing with it. So asset protection is just, it's looking in the industrial collection, and it's looking for the asset protection tag. That's all. And then within here, a user can search. It's like, I need one of those weird goalpost kind of things, and they can add to that and search further down and see what they're looking for.
So they start with save search, and now
Yeah,
and then with tags and search, they can kind of
you
further
can
filter
build
that.
on it. You can filter and search and search.
Mm-hmm.
Being an admin, now I can save that as another save search, but we won't be doing that right now. Let's reset this back. And then the groups, you can create that just whatever makes sense for you. I even have a work in progress down here. Can't remember. I was working on something for interiors. But all my title blocks, I can quickly jump to, and that again is just a collection, and that one's actually looking at a category, title blocks. To jump to that really quick. Some firms, I think, that I see HOK at AU last year. I think David did a class on CC. They almost have their entire library set up just on
Mm-hmm.
save searches.
Yeah, so,
Hey,
so
this
that's what I've
this
heard.
is,
That some people are like all in on safe search,
yeah,
others rely more on
yeah,
tags, for
that's
example.
like square one. That's where you start anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and
kind of Wild West. I start there, or my users, they can start here. Get into casework and then break it down by what kind of cabinet do you want. Um, yeah, so you have a lot of flexibility to make this work with
okay,
your firm.
and another question: how
Yeah.
can you load a bundle of elements? Let's say that you start a project, and
Uh-huh.
let's say you do a residential project. Is there any way that you could have like windows, doors, details all linked to residential projects and load them all at the same time, or load
To
them
upload
quickly
them into
to a
Count
new
Catalog,
project? No, to
or
load them to a new project when you
oh,
start a new
to a new
project.
project.
Yeah.
Let's so I'm doing a new behavioral health project. I want to grab all of those and bum, bum, bum. Ah, I should be able to. Why can't I? Oh, sure, fine. Really? Okay. If I connect it to 23, Oh, the wonder of live demos. Oh, wait. I'm not
Classic.
dead yet. Hey, there it is. Okay.
Batch insert. Okay.
Ah, phew. It used to
So
be up there.
so that's
That's,
the three small dots that I see over there, right?
yeah, the
Okay.
snowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Montreal. You know snowmen.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in California they call it something else, I'm sure. But yeah, for us, it's a snowman. Um, so there you can batch insert. It'll churn a while. It does take a little while because it's loading those in. Um, but away you
So
go.
so you could do so a tag would be the most simple, I guess. You have a tag residential project X, and then you start a
Mhm.
project and you load the loadable families, system families, uh, schedules, legends, details, sheets all at the same time. Is that
Yeah.
usually instead?
My
Well, my
gosh.
recommendation typically to clients is don't put all your stuff in your template.
Right.
So,
Me too.
uh,
Me too. Yeah.
okay, so that
I never thought of the Big Bang Theory though.
yeah, okay,
In theory it would work.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd be surprised if it would actually make it all the way through. Or at the very least you'd have to get up and take a coffee break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could take a while. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. So I see in the chat lots of
That's a
intense
that's a cool
discussion.
that's a cool idea though.
Yeah, okay, you didn't think of it. Maybe I'm bringing something new. Like in the chats, we have intense conversation. There's actually
Oh,
Mark from
yeah.
HOK, and he said, "Yeah, that was me." So
Ah.
he's right there.
Hey, Mark.
And people are saying it's the hamburger menu, but hamburger it's lines, right?
No, no,
It's different. These are dots.
hamburger is like a variation of that. The three
Yeah,
lines.
it's just three lines. Yeah,
Oh, like there. So
snowman is
kind of.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, or
Yeah. Hamburger
top
is like
top
the
left.
if you ever worked at McDonald's is the diagram of the layers of the hamburger.
I actually
No.
did work in McDonald's when I was a
Yeah.
teenager. So yeah.
I miss that. I did Dairy Queen.
Okay, yeah, it's less
Dairy Queen and
complicated
Pizza Hut.
than doing BIM.
Yeah, those are the days.
Yeah, and there were other question. A good question from
Uh-huh.
our Rena that says, "Does content catalog ever go down? Does it go down with ACC? And is there a backup if ACC or content catalog is down?"
No, there is no backup, as I found out um, a little while ago. I can't remember what was down. Maybe it was ACC that was down. Um, yeah, it kind of goes with ACC. So which has gotten a lot better. Um, we used to kind of we used to brace ourselves on whenever Amazon would have a sale or Amazon days or right before Christmas when AWS would get bogged down and
Oh, really? That's because of that. I never thought of it.
it used to be,
Wow.
yes. Um,
Because of yeah, that kind
yeah,
of
you
makes
have
sense
to go
then.
back a couple of years, probably four
Hmm.
years at least. But yes, absolutely, there were failures on Amazon days.
And is it so? Is
It's much
content?
better now,
Yeah, is content
but
catalog down at the same time as ACC, or they can be separate?
jeepers, that's a good question. I
Because
honestly
it,
don't know.
yeah, okay. But if it wasn't clear
Um,
so far, like every UNIFI or content catalog, everything's on the cloud. When
hmm,
compared to, I think Avail, you can still
yeah,
have
I think it's on the
local
same
files.
cloud,
Yeah.
AWS, but it's not. We were looking before. We can see the admin settings in here. You cannot see well, you can see collections, but you can't see the collection. You can't get to the data inside there at all. Um, which would be kind of handy to be able to download a backup or an archive once in a while, Autodesk. Um, so there's no way, even though it's kind of up there, you can't really access it from content catalog. Um, and that being said, it's not yet, I don't believe, it's not yet included in sorry for the sound effects. I'm just weird. Um, It's not yet in the health dashboard.
Yeah, so we cannot
So,
see Content Catalog separately from the other services.
hmm which there
Okay,
there used to be. UNIFI used to have its own little health dashboard. So that's something
so
else for Autodesk.
so again in the chat there are interesting discussions, and this time it's about the idea of
Yeah.
keeping backups and the idea of single source of truth. Some people are like, you need to keep a
Mm,
well organized backup with nice folders and everything is structured in case it goes down. Other people are like, no, that's a terrible idea. You need a single source of truth. If you reproduce kind
yes.
of a file structure, you're gonna have problems eventually. What do you
Yes.
think?
This is my single source of truth. I have a haphazard backup, which I discovered it's very hard when I tried to batch insert even like 63 items. When I tried to, or no, when I tried to batch download 63 files, it didn't like that. Um, but I could batch insert it into a single
Yeah.
model.
Hmm.
So there's the thought of having a single model with 2,000 families in it, nothing else, just 2,000 families. And then you can go to Revit, save them out if you have to, or distribute them from there. But one nice, neat, tidy file, you can stash that away as a backup. But that's just for disaster recovery. Um, Beyond that, this is my single source of truth. Um, I can come in here. There isn't going to be anything for this. No, this only has one revision. Let's go back to casework, right? And let's see my base cabinets. And let's pick on that. So lovely preview images now. You can hover over. Click on the name to go to the file details. Here you can see the category, the format, of course, information on collections and tags. You can even edit tags here. Say, hey, I want to add another tag. Whoop. You can do that. Um, Cute little 3D preview now. And the cool thing is you have multiple images over here, and you can upload preview images right about there. And hopefully, come on, catch up. There we go. Okay. Um, so we see arrows here left and right. We can go through and look at all of our preview images, and we can see stuff that, hey, I don't want this to be to my thumbnail, but I wanted my users to be able to see, hey, this is what all the parameters are. And so, hey, the height actually goes up to the invisible countertop, and we have a separate parameter for countertop thickness. Because I had a battle between healthcare and multifamily. Multifamily has 1.5 inch thick countertops. Healthcare, for whatever the heck reason, has 1.25 inch. They're special. So
Uh, okay, I have what
so
do
you
I?
can see like how to you
Yeah,
can include other images with that. If I come down to file history down here,
yeah, that's what
I
I
can
wanted to
see,
ask
I
about.
know I was getting there. Okay.
All right, I'll let you go. All right.
Um, so you go to file history and you can see, hey, 6 revisions, expand that out the full history. And sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not good. Whenever you upload a piece of content, you can add a note. So you can track what's been changed from version to version. Okay. And then you see a whole bunch of stuff over here. The little up arrow is what you've uploaded. So I uploaded a base file in 2021. Once it gets up there, um, Content Catalog in the cloud processes it, makes all these cute little 3D previews, but it also upgrades it to all future versions. So my users using 2025, they insert this family. It doesn't have to go through that little pickup of upgrading the file. It just comes straight in. Now, Um, let's talk about multiple base files, right? All right. So, oh, back to our ship's ladders. That's why I had that sitting there. Okay, so way back here. Oh, this is a good one. Um, this poor thing dates back to, I think, 2003 or 4. If you're adventurous and go to Revit City, you could confirm that. I built that really long ago, and it's on Revit City. So back then, you wanted to be specialty equipment, but specialty equipment couldn't be cut in section. Okay, fine. We just kind of lived with it. Well, now as of what, 22 point something, for sure 23, now specialty equipment can be cut in section. Novel concept. So I had to go back. I had my old version. It goes way back before that. Um, but I went back and made a new version in 2023, uploaded that. And important point here is that content catalog only looks at the name. There's no special fancy GUID or anything. It's just the name. If it's the same name that you upload, it's going to come in as a separate or a new version of that. All right. And this is collapsed down, but there's a few other little tweaks in there. So uploaded new 2023. That's a base file. This is a base file. This gets upgraded to 2022. Then I have my new 2023 cuts and section, fancy, whiz bang. That gets upgraded to 24 and 25. So if a user using Revit 24 or 25 insert this family, they're going to get the 2023 version. If a user still using Revit 2020 or 2022 inserts this family, they're going to get the old 2021 version. Okay. And this just came into play with our detail library. We've been playing like the lowest common denominator. You see all these families are still 2021. Try to go the lowest common version. We were doing that with our detail library. It was in 2021. We got to a point where it's like, hey, we want to add details from these projects that are newer. Can we please upgrade it? And I, stayed awake one night trying to figure it out. Finally dawned on me that the same thing holds true for details. The same versioning thing. So standard detail library, boop. Let's go to something really boring like a 1 foot shelf detail. There he is. Okay. So the same thing holds true here, is that I can have multiple base files. I have a 2021 version. That was from the old detail library. I have a new 2023 version from the new library. Okay.
All right. I have
And you're about to ask
yeah.
me, how the heck do you get drafting views into content catalog?
No, that's not.
Oh,
Maybe later we'll talk about it. Like my question is about
yeah,
types.
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 Yes.
So if let's say you load a family, let's say a
Mhm.
window family that has 10 types, the 10 types are
Ah,
going to be loaded. And then my
yes.
second question would be, some people in the chat were mentioning issues with the type catalog. I know that you can use type catalog, but some people mentioned it's kind of buggy or it doesn't always work.
I've seen that as well. I've never experienced it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not lucky any other time, but I've never run into that. And so if ones I pick on the most are my detail components. Let's do like a white flange. There he is. Oh, let's see. There we go. Okay. So I go into the file details here. There's my wide flange. Okay. Now I say, hey, what the heck? there's supposed to be a whole bunch of types here. If you go to File History, over here we see TC, Type Catalog. Okay,
Oh, so it
so
has a place at the bottom on file history. All right.
exactly. Um, if, again, anyone from the dev team is watching, that used to show up here, and that was kind of handy. I don't know why you'd hide something like that. Yeah, just throw that little TC up here. Nice little spot right there. So indicates that it's a type catalog. All right. When we insert something with a type catalog, come up here. I'm currently connected to just a empty container file in Revit 2023. If I have multiple versions open like this, I can choose, hey, I want to go to 2025 or I want to go to 2023. If I have multiple files open, I would see multiple files here I can insert into. And the little plug over here says, hey, I'm connected to that one. All right. So we come up here, insert. All right. This is actually kind of cool. So here we have, it's looking at that file that I'm connected to. It found these 5 types that are already in the model. And then I can come down here and add new ones. I hate when it does that. It jumps me back up to the top whenever I click. Pisses me off, Autodesk. I'll have to record this and like just snippet out everything I just request from Autodesk. Yeah. Or really cool thing is a little search bar up here. Say, hey, I just want a W12. Boop. Okay, hit enter, and now I jump down to my W12s. So I get all those. It jumps around a little bit. I select a couple, insert, and away I go.
So is that only possible with if there's a type catalog? If there's no type catalog, you cannot pick between different types.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
It will show you all the types that are available, but all of them are coming in.
All right. I think it could be time to show how to. Now that's for the end users part. For the managers part, how to actually bring and so-called harvest this content and bring it into Content Catalog.
Okay. So down here, little cloud, upload content. Okay. And down here, we see the usual drag and drop or click and go, find let's do a backup. That's fun. We can bring maybe, or did I delete that? Anyway, you can select files, or what's more interesting up here is up here, remember that connection that says, hey, you're in a container file. I can click that and it will go through and harvest exactly what you said. It's going through, finding everything. There's more stuff than I thought there was. Come on now. So it's going to go through, find all the content that's available to the content catalog, very slowly, I might add, damn it. And it will lay it out by category. Really?
Yeah, typically it's not
right
slow,
now.
slow.
No.
Yeah. Well, actually, people in the chat have, maybe it leads us to this question. Like
Yes.
Tracy saying, I've been having trouble accessing Content Catalog all morning. I had to insert views from our backup files.
Okay. That brings another truth that we were chatting about a little bit. Yeah. I've lost hair. I had hair last week. I wasn't as gray last week. Content Catalog has been just a brat. It's been doing weird stuff. It's been okay. Yeah, we can backtrack to that. Okay. If I go to, oh no, like this. There you go. It just signed me out for no reason.
Because you maximize the screen.
Yeah, that's not a reason, I don't think. And then I think it's just unique to Ryan is that we have single sign-on. And if I'm in the office, I get the little spinning wheel of indifference up here as it's waiting for single sign-on to kick in. If I'm at home or out or off of the network, it's instant. And to try to explain that to an IT person
Yeah.
is impossible. So there we go, signing in. And oh, this is really good. Gosh, how much time do we have? Okay. All right. So it's going to go through this maybe. This is pretty good. So lately, I've been getting this. Actually, I haven't been getting too many reports from users having these problems. So I seem to be special. Um, but in cases like this, let's kill this. Yeah, let's kill it good. Okay, so um, content catalog is web-based, pure and simple. Even if, let's see,
Yeah.
Revit,
Meaning the web app is basically kind of a web browser in a
it
wrapper.
is.
Mhm.
Even if you go to content catalog here and launch as app, it's still going to pop up as your default browser for a second, and then it'll switch to the content catalog icon. Um, so what I've had to do lately, two things. First, it worked with just cookies. So in whatever your default browser is, Edge or Chrome, that's what it's going to use. And within here, we go to settings. So another little snowman, settings, privacy security, third-party cookies. Boop. Okay. And then down here say, hey, show them all to me. Show me all the cookies. Um, yes, I am addicted to Autodesk. So that's on top there. I can drill down into there. There's my content catalog. Clear those out. Okay. And then lately, it's been even to the point of going back here and even, is it browsing data? Cached images and files. I've been killing that as well.
Okay, and
And
that has fixed
yeah,
issues you had with content catalog not
mm-hmm.
loading. That's
Yeah,
related to the not loading and the spinning infinite spinning wheel that we saw.
yeah. We will see. The way my day's going so far, it's yeah, who knows? Um, it's been one of those days. So content catalog itself is web-based, runs in your browser, but there's also an add-in.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Revit add-in.
there's two parts. There's a Revit add-in. That's how content catalog is able to look and see, hey, you're running Revit and you're running this version. You have that file open and all of that. That's all within that add-in. Um, okay, come on now. This might be the loop. Cool. Um, so it's so there's two parts. There's a lot of confusion lately that there's a new installer out. So if you go out to Autodesk um, and look, there's installer version 1.1.4. Um, that takes care of that add-in. That's the additional functionality. If you look at the release notes, you'll see that that version now supports Revit materials. And so
Oh, really?
hence they had to have that functionality baked into that installer, not the web version. So it was kind of confusing to us because hey, there's version 1.1.4, that's this installer, and then there is 4.0.79, which is just the web version, all this searching and viewing and all of that fun stuff. Um, this auto updates. So whenever if we go to the release notes here, I think the last one was about a week ago.
So you say they've added materials.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
haven't even
nice.
played with it yet,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah, add that to the list of stuff that if you have a common material library,
Yeah.
which we've played with in the past, we've been kind of thinking about that. That's a possibility now. We can certainly do that. So March 14th, this version came out. Before that, it was March 4th. So, every 3 weeks or so. Um, and so there's still a lot of stuff coming. To say, this is the beginning, not the end, for this program. And a lot of development going on. Right now, we see that create request is in beta. So my
Yeah, I've heard
users,
for some people that former UNIFI users that were like, I missed
yeah.
this feature. So
Oh,
it's in beta mode.
yeah. If you can imagine, I yelled at people. Um, or anyone who knows me could imagine. I yelled at someone. Um, because getting back to that single source of truth, this is our library. This is where it lives. If somebody needs something, they can request it here. What they need, how badly do they need it, high priority always. I don't even know why they bother with the rest because that's the only one my people seem to know. Um, File type specifications. And the very cool part down here is they can drop a cut sheet. So they're looking at you know, a widget. They can drop the PDF here. I can get it. So that goes to us admins, and we go to our little bullhorn over here, the request center, and there's upload requests, and which is every upload. If you have multiple admins uploading content, you could kind of track that and control that here. And then we have content requests. And you can group that by status. So everything's been completed. And then you can group it by date, so on and so forth. But I could come in here, it would be pending. Um, I could come in here and say, hey, we need a tissue dispenser. These are all the details. Here's the cut sheet. I can open that up, make the family. When I upload the family, I can mark that as complete, and away we go. Now, that being said, a couple of things missing still is the notification system. So we have this. The next step they're working on right now is the notification system. So when somebody requests something, all of us admins are going to get an email saying, hey, Nick requested something.
Mhm.
And then vice versa, when I finish that and build a beautiful family and upload it for him, Nick's going to get an email and say, hey, your family is ready. And have a nice little link to it, and you go straight to it. Um, and then part two of that is, and this is actually more important to me than that one, is single source of truth again. Um, my users come in here, they find a family, there's something wrong with it, it's defective or whatever. Back in UNIFI, there was a request update button here, and we absolutely need that back. It'll come back in time. They're working on it, but then that whole cycle is complete. They can request updates. I go in, yeah, okay, that needs to be fixed. I fix it, I upload it, it becomes a new version down here with a note, say, hey, it's been updated per this request, and away we go.
Okay, so we're just slightly past the hour. Do you have 10 more minutes to
Oh yeah.
finish?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got sidetracked, didn't I? Oh, I got
No,
sidetracked a
that
lot.
that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, we didn't get there, so that's my question to upload.
Hey.
And I remember
Um.
last time you had that Home Depot file, so I'm curious to if you could talk about that, the
Okay.
concept of the
So,
Home Depot.
oh, the concept of the Home Depot.
Yeah, well, you can talk about that first, and then we can get to it.
Let's. That's kind of your. Yeah, you had that in your family um class, didn't you?
The
The Home Depot type concept with your families to have a
the container file,
kind of
yeah.
container file and have them all laid out.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get the
yeah.
detail library cooking there. Oh, hey, that was quick. Said no one ever about Autodesk. Huh. Okay, cool. So what I did was clicked on that file that I had linked to. It crunched for a second, like it's supposed to only take a second, and it breaks everything down by category. I can now come in here, all my system types. Let's see, wall types. I only have three, but I could take those and upload them. Um, or if I want, I think that thing's open now. Let's do a real test since we're already over. So Ryan detail library, upload, export. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. 2,800 views. It just parsed. So that's the way it's supposed to work. So that's nice and quick, usually. Um, so we have drafting views in here. 2,800 of them. It's like, oh, I just updated. I just updated a door head detail. You can use a search up here. Okay, well, okay, that got it down to 101. But you can pick your detail. Next. Now with drafting views, system types, I think groups too. It wants to make a thumbnail. See, with families, there's a built-in thumbnail saved with the file that it uses. Here, it needs to kind of create one. And so it has to go in here, create a temporary view, grab a screenshot of that right there, and go back to the dialog. So you can upload onesies, twosies. You can zero in, even with a big container file, you can zero in very easily. And to do that, so if found as grayed out back there, said, hey, what collection do you want to save that to? Say, okay, I want that in my standard detail library. Okay, we save and get a little warning here. It's like, hey, something with this file name is already in here. This is going to be a new version of that. You're just updating it. Like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, cool. I can go to my snowman here and I can add a note and something nonsensical. I can come in here. I can do my details or my tags. Say, hey, okay, this is for brick. So kind of nice over to the old UNIFI uh, dialog box, and that it lists it very nicely. You can even search for it. You can just click which ones you want to include. You can input as many tags on a piece of content as you want. So there, door details as a tag, and go ahead and upload. And away it goes. All right.
Yeah, and now it's in the library.
It's updated in the library. Let's see if I go in here. Oh, where did I have? I thought I had. It went away. Okay.
I
I thought I
wanted to
had.
ask you if you have
Yeah.
you've shown us the user permissions. You have kind of a work in progress collection where you and your admin friends can put content that isn't
Yeah.
final,
Um, yeah, you certainly can.
but
So
it's not the way you work.
that should be, yeah, that was like a one-time deal. I
Yeah.
think I was working on one of these interior groups and was working with that, or it might have been updates. So I kind of pushed those to the side. I had to update all of our casework. to add parameters or something to it. Um, or it might have been that, I mean, these are actually model groups that interiors had requested for space planning, be able to bring in a group of these families. This actually is a screenshot that I had to take. Doesn't really create a nice preview for detail or model groups. So this is an uploaded image here. And I'll even try reloading because that detail should show up right there. This is the weird thing, and I just hit reload, and now it's gonna
The
re-log
loop.
me in.
Yeah, but while that's going
Yeah.
on, maybe you can take a
Yeah.
couple of
Okay.
questions while
Oh,
that's loading.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so we've got Mark Pritchard from HOK, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Rolly, if you delete the cache in the browser, do you
Yeah.
find that the thumbnails take forever to display again when you reopen Content Catalog?
Actually, not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay.
Not too bad. Not as bad as you'd think. I have 6,000 items in my library. This version of with Content Catalog relies really heavily on that. It caches all of those images. So usually these searches are so fast and you get the previews and all that. Um, yeah, I was really skeptical. And in the past, it's been like that in the early days. Caching all of that was really slow, probably like a year and a half ago. Um, it's gotten much better, much better. What's happening right now, this is a heads up, this thing's being a brat. If you look at some of these previews, they're really pixelated. Versus if I go down here, uh, I know interior designers love this table. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I have to have it for them. How crisp that is versus up here. For about the last month almost, there's been a problem with processing. And so the images aren't updating. The versions aren't upgrading like they should. Um, I just emailed back and forth with the dev team this morning. Karen is pulling her hair out. They're they're working on it. It's a big issue. A few weeks back, it was a minor issue. It's like, hey, can you like kick the box again and get this restarted? Something happened. I don't know what it is yet, but something big happened. It's down and not working yet. So everything kind of works. You can upgrade, you can upload, but you see
But you
the
get
port,
pixelated preview images.
yeah, the port, and then also you come down here to file history, and it's still
It's stuck
trying
in
to
a
upgrade
processing loop.
those. Exactly.
Okay.
Now, that being said, I played around a little bit this morning with some of these. Like, hey, I opened up 2025, tried to insert this family, and it did. It had to go
Okay.
through that file upgrade little step,
Mm-hmm.
that little hiccup, but it worked.
Oh, good.
In the past, that wouldn't happen. That would just say, hey, there's no version of this available. So it's just a heck of a time right now. But it is very cool. They're working on it. I would expect it would come back. It was flawless, you know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah, I've played with it last week, and I've noticed that the images were kind of pixelated. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that it was a well-known issue that was causing that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
More
ready
stuff.
for a couple more final questions?
Oh
Then
yeah.
we'll
Fire
shut down
away.
this thing. Okay, from let's see, Chip Harris. I do medical equipment, and I have a
Oh.
list of 100 families that needs to be imported into a project. Is there a way to feed a list from Excel, for example, into the content catalog? That would be
Whoa.
tags, right? Like you shown
Oi.
earlier, right?
Yeah. I mean, with tags or collections. Save searches. Did I? No, I don't. Huh. I thought I had one of those. Okay, so you can come to browse and don't use this very often, but once in a while it's nice just to see the collections and what you have. So I have 234 healthcare families. So you can get to this pretty quick. But to have an Excel spreadsheet and be able to load those, uh,
Yeah, maybe not,
not
right?
yet, but I can definitely see a need for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's Content Catalog isn't open to Dynamo yet.
Yes, and some
Um,
people ask if it were you could use the API to kind
yeah,
of push it
I don't
around.
think
Not yet,
I
right?
don't think there's an open API yet.
Hmm.
No. And with it being tied into ACC, it might even be a Forge
Yeah,
tie-in.
that's right.
But yeah, cool idea. I could definitely see a need for it, but it's not there yet.
Okay, let's couple more. Then we're
Yeah.
gonna be done with it. Brian
Hmm.
Maldonado says, ask if what if you have one user in multiple
Maldonado.
Maldonado. What if
Uh-huh.
you have one user in multiple groups which have different level of permissions? How does Content Catalog handle that?
It uh it treats it as duplicates.
Hmm.
So you can you can come in here, you can go to a piece of content, um, edit collections. So you can have this in multiple collections. Um, so I could throw that in, multiple, and then it would show up either way. There's no one overriding the other. It's just shared to both. So even though it might be restricted to healthcare, if I share it with the entire library, it'd be in the entire library.
Okay, I see.
Hmm.
And maybe the all right. Final question from
Yeah. Oh,
Rukyo. Can you sum up how likely you would recommend your best friend to implement Content Catalog at their workplace? Say their job depended on the success of the rollout.
um, I would. Okay, even with it being a brat right now, even with it the processing thing being janky right now, um, it's just a phase that it's going through. I'm pretty confident in that. Um, up until I mean, really 3 weeks ago, this thing was just humming. I have my entire office. I have 120 architects, another 30 BDC folks. This is our single source of truth. Um, and I jumped on this. Let's see, if you go back to the history, I think I started throwing stuff in here in September. Um, so we jumped in both feet. This is our only source of content. I can flip that around, I think. Yeah. So it's September, October. Um, so yeah, I would still feel good about it. Um, the the nuts and bolts are there. It's working. You can if it's going to take you. Gosh, it took me I don't know 2 weeks of heavy manual labor to download all of this from UNIFI and then upload it back into Content Catalog. 6,200 and some items. Um, it doesn't work all in one batch. You saw like batch insert and batch upload and whatnot. That was taken at like 50 to 75 items at a time, by collection, by category. Break it down as you need to get those down. There's been a data transfer utility promised. Um, no sign of that yet. So I had finally gotten to the point. It's like, nah, let's try this, and it actually worked. You can, batch download, batch upload, away you go. So yeah, in light of everything, granted, I've been using this for years, been beta testing it all the way through, and all this and that. I'm still staking my job on it.
All right. Great answer.
And
That's it for the
I'm
questions.
not in sales, not I don't work
Yeah.
for Autodesk. You know, Autodesk sucks. Autodesk, I mean, all of that. So yeah, it's a great product. It's going through a little hiccup right now. The dev team is working their heinies off on it. They're really responsive as well. There's been a lot of things that, you know, like that the content requests and features here and there that, yeah, they really take it to heart, and they want to develop it for us and make it work for us. It's been wonderful working for them, or with them, not for them. Sorry.
All right. Thanks for that. I'll just mention a couple of things, then we'll
Yeah.
close out the episode. That's the
Okay.
Dynamo Space Camp that is next week. It's starting on Monday. It's a series of 3 live events to help you get started with Dynamo and start automating boring tasks. You don't need any programming or even Dynamo experience. That's part of the BIMPure membership. So check the link in the video description. That's bimpure.com/dynamo-spacecamp. And back to you, Rolly. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
You
for
mentioned
this
you mentioned
presentation.
Dynamo for groups at
Yes,
the top
yeah,
of the show. Ooh, that's interesting.
yeah. You can automate Dynamo, and like the way we've
Ah,
used it is
yeah.
set a unique parameter value, so you can filter them
Mhm.
out in schedules and have a schedule with for specific groups that is
Oh,
done within a few clicks. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, that is cool. Nice. Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so that's thanks for the session. Any final words, comments, advice, tips before we shut this down?
Oh my gosh. Gosh, not really. I mean, this is quick. I mean, it's kind of fast paced. It's still under construction. It's
Yeah.
developing. Um, you know, it seems like it's been taking forever, but yet it's moving at breakneck speed. But even back in the days of UNIFI, people just love it.
Hmm.
I was, you know, do I take this other program for free, or do I take this one for a lot of money? Well, even if it's free, if nobody uses it, nobody's using it. Um, and people have loved this. I have more problems with it than my users do right now,
Hmm.
and so they can still find their stuff. They're not calling me umpteen times a day for a concierge service. Say, hey, you have one of these, and I have to find it and send it to them. Yeah, it just works. Well,
Great.
aside from the stuff that we saw today.
So, all right. Thank you so much, Rolly. Thanks to
Hey, thank
everyone
you.
watching
Been a
live.
blast.
Yeah, that was fun. So the next live episode on YouTube is going to be a month away. So else we're going to see you guys on the Demo Space Camp series, hopefully. So thanks a lot, Rolly, and see
Yeah,
you all.
thank you, Nick.
Goodbye.
Stay warm. Take care.